Hi, beautiful people. Leticia here, coming to you from beautiful and cloudy today, Playa del Carmen. I am at my favorite beach in Playa, Punta Esmeralda Beach. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. Anyway, I didn't have a chance to put on my face today. Hope you can forgive me for that. I felt inspired to share a few words. This past Friday night, I once again had the blessing of participating in another marvelous Ayahuasca ceremony. By now, you already know this is my favorite topic in the world. And, my friends, okay, I'm just going to have a seat on this wet benches here. One sec, let me show you. It's very quiet at the beach today because, again, it rained this morning. Normally on a Sunday, this beach would be completely packed. But anyway, look how beautiful it is. So I'm just going to have a seat, maybe on this bench right here, under these palm trees. It's so peaceful and beautiful, and I'm going to jog back home. But anyway, yes, my friends. So, as mentioned, oh man, my hair is a mess. Well, hope you can forgive me for that. Oh man, it's going to be windy. Okay. Yeah, maybe this is not the best spot because I know there will be some wind interference with my microphone. Okay. So, what can I say? I had some interesting things happen in my life recently. To get to the point, my partner of 8 months that I thought, I could see myself having a future with, and I thought, he was the man of my life. Well, it appears that he never officially had ended the relationship with the mother of his children, who lived in a different Mexican state of Chiapas. And this all kind of came to the surface before the holidays. And what can I say? It was obviously shocking for me. Of course, people would ask, like, didn't you have any clues? And you could say there were some red flags, but I was very... I don't know. I trusted him. I didn't feel the need to probe. In retrospect, I probably should have asked more questions. You learn as you grow. You learn as you go in life. So for those who are just tuning in, I was just sharing that, over the holidays, I came to realize that the person that I was seeing for the past 8 months, who I was having, in my opinion, like an amazing relationship with. It turns out that he hadn't officially ended the relationship with the mother of his children. He may even still be married. I don't know. It was definitely not a pleasant thing to realize. And I've been doing my best to process this whole situation and on my own, but I also felt the need to I knew that Madrecita Ayahuasca could help me process these difficult feelings. And so that's part of the reason why I went on Friday night. And it definitely did help me find some inner peace with regards to this whole situation. I can't say I'm fully, charge-free when it comes to processing these feelings, but I do feel more at peace. As usual, Mother Plant Ayahuasca gave me some additional insights as to what's going on Earth right now. Hey, Jeff. And I could say I had a very light and pleasant experience. Not every Ayahuasca experience is that way. In this case, one of the first things I remember seeing, I found myself being taken or guided by some higher dimensional beings. Thank you, Matthew. I love you. Thank you, my brother. I know. I found myself in some sort of magical place. It was what I understood was a city somewhere in the 4th or 5th dimension. And guys, I cannot tell you what I felt or what I saw. I'll try to describe it. I saw some structures. I saw what I understood to be like a section of a city. There were some buildings, but if you can imagine, there were ethereal Yeah, thank you, Matthew. Matthew says the integration will still be tough. You've got this. Thank you, my brother. I do. I trust myself. I trust the universe. I trust that everything is working out in divine order. And whatever had to happen had to happen. Um, with yeah. So guys, I just want to share about this freaking magical city that I saw. So I saw these structures. It looked like buildings, but they were multicolored, and they had like a glow around them, and as I'm being guided by these beings, I didn't see the beings, but I knew I wasn't alone. I felt like they were showing me around. This is where we live, because my mom later asked me, is this what you saw? Was this humanity in the future, or was this a parallel reality? And my understanding was that this was a parallel reality, that they were just showing me their world. This is where we live, and all I can say is I felt, as I'm being guided, I felt like I was floating. There was no walking anymore in this dimension. I was floating and seeing this magical glowing city, and I felt so much love and joy, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what is this? What is this magical place? I'm like, oh my goodness. And I understood that that's where we're going as humanity. We are heading towards these higher dimensions. And this has come to me in previous ayahuasca ceremonies, this understanding that humanity is currently going through an ascension process. We are moving from these, denser vibration, this 3D world, what we call the 3D world, to these higher dimensions. And in order for us to get there and to ready ourselves for these higher dimensions, what needs to happen is this, and what's currently happening on Earth is this collective purging. The Bible calls it revelation. We are at a time of revelation. We are at a time where all the fucking darkness that we thought we were hiding can no longer be hidden. So even a situation such as the one I found myself in, where my partner basically had another partner that he denied having, like, what bullshit, There's no need for that. There's no need to lie when you go into these higher realms of experience, There's no need for that. And the only thing, truth and the truth will be the order of the day, when we get into these higher realms of expression, of experience. All the darkness that we know has been happening on Earth, the wars, the sadness, the fear, the abuse against children and other human beings, all of this has no place in these higher dimensions. So it's all coming to the surface. The truth of what's been going on our planet, who's been pulling the strings, all of it is coming to the surface because it needs to be purged. It needs to come to the surface because it cannot be hidden anymore. The new dimension, the new realm of experience it will not allow for these lower vibrational experiences. So it's all happening for good. I understand, and I have full confidence that all that is happening on Earth right now, as aberrant as it may seem, it's all happening for our good. Now, I also very well understood, again, and this understanding came to me in a realm beyond words. There were no words, but I understood. I could feel what was happening. And what I felt was happening is, again, what the Bible says, we are not fighting against truth. We are not fighting against flesh and blood, but against the powers of darkness in high places. So what I understood clearly is that for lack of a better word, the energetic battle that is happening on Earth right now has its source in a higher realm, in a realm beyond just humanity on this planet. To some extent, humanity on this planet, well, as you probably have found out by now, humanity has been under the control and influence of other beings that have their own agenda at play. And while I don't fully understand the whole picture, my understanding is that, again, because what's happening on Earth we didn't originate what's happening on Earth, okay? To some extent, humanity on Earth has been kept in the darkness as to what's really going on, the nature of reality, the fact that we are amazing, powerful creators, beings of light. And And what I understood, my friends, is that because the problem arises at, well, I feel hesitant to call it a higher level, but rather a different level of existence. It is also being addressed at those higher levels. I felt, my friends, that Earth right now going through this transition, we have support from higher up. We have support from other beings. If you want to call them aliens, other beings, higher dimensional beings are working on the issue. There is so much light being poured on Earth right now. We are not alone in this battle of the ages, okay? And so I felt a lot of reassurance, and as I was inquiring, but what can we do? What can we do? The answer I got was, don't worry about it. It's being dealt with. It's being dealt with. Now, what is our role in this process? Well, obviously, I don't say obviously, but my understanding is that, as I mentioned to you, collective healing and collective starts at the individual level. Individual healing needs to take place for us to be able to evolve into these higher dimensions. Each and every one of us has a responsibility to heal ourselves, to heal our traumas. And some of our traumas, guys, are not just our own. We're talking parental, ancestral traumas. And there are so many modalities, my friends. Mother plant ayahuasca is the one modality that I found that has been the most powerful, the most efficient, the fastest, you could say. It's an accelerator. I'm very, very blessed to have discovered this amazing healing plant. And again, I was told in my first ceremony that I did here in Mexico that these ancestral medicines were left to us by the ancients for times like these, And why? Because they are a link between the 3D, the three-dimensional world, to these higher dimensions. One thing they've allowed me to do, one thing that Mother Plant Ayahuasca has allowed me to do is realize my true nature. It's helped me realize that I am an amazing multi-dimensional being of light. I am not just this meat suit, that this body that shows up in this 3D plane of existence is really an extension of my higher self. And when you see yourself as that higher being, you understand that you really are this amazing. Yeah, Matthew says this is the way I feel about mushrooms. Absolutely. Medicinal mushrooms are another amazing gift that were left to us by Mother Earth, by the ancestors. So my ayahuasca teacher, also works with mushrooms, and he recommends them, especially in cases of any kind of mental health, depression, anxiety. Apparently that's where they are most recommended. Ayahuasca is good for everything. Ayahuasca is, they call it the mother plant. I have no words, I am so blessed. But again, in this ceremony, I got additional reassurance that we've got nothing to worry about, that everything that's happening on planet Earth, it needs to happen. Now, as I explained to you before, the ascension process is underway. It's happening. In the past, I used to think about these things as, cuckoo, hippie stuff, until I had the visions that I had in ayahuasca, and I saw essentially beings of light pulling us upwards, and I understood that the process is inevitable. It's underway, and we can go with it or not, but I mean, it's happening no matter what. So you're either with it or you can hold on to the life that you know, and hold on for dear life, thinking that you can still hold things as they are. And the beings that are currently orchestrating this CV agenda on Earth that's in their fear of evolving, they're holding on to what they know, which is, that they had control on Earth, that they could run things according to their agenda, that, and listen, they understand the creative power of their minds, and that's one of the reasons they've been so busy distracting humanity and trying to take control of the minds of the people through the media, through every tool they had under their belt, because they understand that if instead of, they're very afraid. They fucking get it. They get that if we all of a sudden start using our powerful minds for good and to start creating the Earth that we want to create, as opposed to us human beings as a whole remaining stuck in this vibration of fear of, oh my God, COVID, like all this stuff. I don't want to say the word because I know what they do to people like me on Facebook. Anyway, I hope you can understand, my friends. It's time for us to take back control of our amazing creative power and to start focusing on what we actually want to create in our lives, because our minds were not meant to be distracted watching TV and taking in all this fucking darkness. These beings, that's how they have succeeded in keeping humanity enslaved for as long as they have, by in our ignorance, in our naivete, in our unknowing of our true nature. They took advantage of that. They took advantage of that for their own questionable purposes, okay? And listen, to each their own. And listen, there is a saying, and it may sound maybe tough to people when they hear it. There are no victims, only volunteers. And I know people may question that. Whoa, what do you mean there are no victims? Do you think I chose that car accident? Do you think I... Listen, I'm not going to get into the details of that, but bottom line, this is not the time to be, for us to be wailing in victimhood and to be, oh my God, why are they doing this to us? I can't take it anymore. Instead of doing that, my friends, stand straight, stand in your power, remember who you are, remember. And again, if you haven't had the experience of understanding who you really are, take it from me, because I saw who I am. And if I am like that, we are all like that, my friends. We are all beings of light, powerful beings of light, powerful creators. We have an extension of us that is this physical body. And that's it. You are not this limited physical body. Now, that being said, obviously, if through lifestyle choices up until now, not knowing any better, you, myself, so many of us, so many people have unfortunately impaired our physical vehicles. Well, my friends, this is the time, and now more than ever, we're stepping into a new year, 2022. This is the time, my friends, for us to take back control of our health, take back control of our physical bodies, do everything in our power to strengthen our physical bodies, stop eating crap. You know very well what I'm talking about. And speaking of that, I'm going to say it. I know a lot of you are going to be uncomfortable with this. I don't care. I'm going to tell you what I think. A lot of you have a lot of excuses why eating meat is so important for your health and your diet. My friends, think about what you're doing when you're eating meat, okay? You are taking in the vibration of those animals that were killed and suffered in the process of being killed. Is that the vibration you want to be putting in your body? And listen, I've spoken about this before. Some people have come back and said, well, do you think killing plants is any better? I don't think it's any better. In fact, studies have been done about how, even plants have feelings. Plants exposed to certain kinds of music will react differently. A plant exposed to heavy metal on a regular basis will wither and die. A plant exposed to classical music on a regular basis will thrive, okay? So plants are equal. They are also living beings. What is the best diet for humans? I do think, fruitarian is as close as it gets, meaning you're just going to eat fruits, nuts, things that don't involve suffering to other living beings. Do I expect all of us to turn fruitarian overnight? No. I myself am not there yet. I am a vegan. I've spoken to you in a previous share about what I understood about eating honey, because I was a honey eating vegan, and I understood that the bees are not cool with that. And it's a practice that, what did we think we were doing by interfering with the civilization? I know it may sound crazy, and maybe I should stop saying that it sounds crazy. It is what it is. These are the insights that I had, and I'm sharing them with you. Take them or leave them, right? You need to make your own decisions for your health, for your own well-being. I don't know if I ever shared this with you, but early in my life, in my early 20s, I had a chance to meet a gentleman who became very special to me. He was, from a young age, an extraterrestrial contactee. He had been involved with an organization that has contact with higher dimensional beings. They have encounters all over the world at set times. I know it all sounds crazy, okay, but it is what it is, okay? And he shared with me he shared with me that these beings are all, to the extent that they still ate, and I'm not sure if they all did, but those that still ate, it was all a plant-based diet. So, again, if we want to help ourselves and help humanity, raw vegan diet. That's the way to be, because it's the highest vibrational diet. They've done studies about this. There's something called Kirlian photography, where you can take pictures of cooked cabbage versus raw cabbage, and the raw cabbage is so much more alive. You see like a much higher aura around it versus the cooked cabbage, which has a much lower apagada, like it's an aura that's stifled. It's way smaller. So and since I'm sharing this with you, I might as well practice what I preach. I'm gonna set my intention to increase the amount of raw food that I eat, because again, it's comfortable and easy enough to eat a cooked vegan diet. For me, it is anyway. But I feel that I should practice what I preach. Alcohol is another thing. I can tell you that the ayahuasca diet does not include alcohol. It does not include any red meat. It's so right now, because I am still within 3 days of my ceremony, our teacher said, the first 3 days after a ceremony, stay on the diet, because the medicine is still working in you, and it's likely that you're going to have additional insights. And that has happened for me in with previous ceremonies. So yeah, I could share more, but I think I'm going to leave it at this for now. We have the power, my friends. We are not small. We are not, don't ever think, oh, what can one person do? Let me remind you, Gandhi was one person. JF Kennedy was one person. Martin Luther King was one person. And and some of you may say, yeah, and look what they did to them. Yeah, okay, yeah. It may happen, my friends. It may happen that in the process, we may lose our physical bodies. So fucking what, okay? Well, I know, I'm not inviting that. I don't want to invite that in my experience. But when you understand that you are not your physical body, when you understand that you are this powerful being of light, and that the physical body is just an extension of it, I think you're going to find it in you to be, to increasingly do the right thing as much as possible. Do the right thing, step into your own power, act from the higher perspective, act from the perspective that you are a powerful being of light, here to do God's work, here to advance humanity, to help humanity ascend. And my friends, after I saw that city in 4th or 5th D, I was like, oh my God, I was like, this is so amazing and magical. This is real. And again, I knew it was real. I knew I was taken to a place in one of these higher dimensions to get a sample for it, And listen, that's not to say, listen, this 3D earth that we're living on is freaking paradise. It is so amazing. We are so blessed to have this beautiful nature around us. And when the time is right for us to move to those higher dimensions, we will move there, okay? All I can say is this is the time for us to ready ourselves. And a lot of us these days are feeling called to all kinds of spiritual practices, meditation, yoga. Heed that call, because this is the call. This is what's getting us all ready, individually and collectively, to where we need to go next, okay? Nothing is static in the universe. There's always, evolution is always happening. And now the time has come for us as humans to evolve to the next level of what's possible for us. I don't fully know what that will entail, my friends, but I have a strong feeling that, and I shared this with you in a previous share, I have a strong feeling that in the coming years, we will have open contact with other species, with whatever you want to call them, alien races, since we're clearly not alone in the universe, and there will be open contact. And we as humans are going to take our place in the greater universal galactic community. I have a feeling that that's what's going to happen. I think it's unavoidable. And I also have a feeling that it's not going to happen through physical rocket ships and all that. I feel that our consciousness will evolve to a level where we'll be able to teleport, just like these other beings do. Some of them still, from my understanding, travel in spacecraft, but a lot of them are at a stage where they can simply teleport their bodies to wherever they want to be. I know, Star Trek is real. Anyway, my friends, I will leave you at that. Have a fantastic Sunday. Have a fantastic 2022. Stay strong. Don't be afraid of anything. And understand that what we see playing out before us, this darkness that's attempting to take over the planet, no, it ain't gonna happen, my friends. They are deluded in these beings. It's not gonna happen, and it's not gonna happen because we're not gonna allow it to happen, and it's also not being allowed to happen from the higher levels. So trust that those of us who see the light, we are on the right side of history. Stand strong in your power. Affirm your allegiance to the light. Affirm who you are as a being of light. You are a sovereign being of light. You are a powerful creator. And get busy creating the life you want to live, my friends. Okay, that's all we got to do. And of course, get into community with other amazing human beings, fellow co-creators, and have fun with it, and let's have an amazing time. Let's have an amazing life. Much love to all of you. Bless you. I love you. Take care, my loves, my friends. Blessings.